Welcome back to Everyday Evo, everybody, and this is the PlayStation Portal. And I have been using it off and on for the past week or so come along with me as we unbox it and talk about some pros and cons. First of all, let's talk about what this is not, and that is a dedicated player like previous handhelds before it. Sony has had several handhelds in the past with their own physical media before digital downloads were a thing. In 2004, we had the first PlayStation Portable, or PSP for short, which used Universal Media Disc. Then, in 2011, we got the PlayStation Vita, which took a physical card similar to the Nintendo Switch. If that tasted bitter or not, I couldn't tell you. I didn't go around tasting media back then. Both generations have had several revisions over their lifetime, from a cool sliding PSP to a slimmed-down PS Vita. Now, a dozen years later, we have the Portal. So let's unbox the thing and take a quick tour around it. While quality of the packaging was good on the inside, it was overall underwhelming because all we got was a cable and some documentation on the inside. As we look at it from the front, we notice a beautiful 8-inch 1080p screen capable of 60 frames per second, which is more than enough for the distance that you will be holding it from your face. We have our standard buttons that we find on a DualSense controller on the front, but then as we move to the top, we have the buttons that you need to operate the player itself. The first thing we have up top are two tiny slits for speakers that surprisingly put out for as small as they are. Right below the right speaker are volume rockers, and on the left we have the link button which is used for Sony's first party headphones that are coming out soon, so stay tuned for that video. And finishing out the top, we have the power button. As we move to the bottom, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack and a USB port for power. Now, as far as the touchpad goes, you may be wondering where that went. Well, it's simple. Swipe up anywhere on the screen and it appears for your use. As far as software goes, there's very little you can do. You have your usual volume and brightness settings you can change, as well as the intensity on the haptics for the controller. And then you have your typical indicators for Wi-Fi and battery. The build quality is great and it feels good to hold in hand, seeing as how it is basically a split DualSense with a screen in the middle. And just for fun, here it is compared to my Switch and Asus ROG Ally. Okay, so now let's start talking about the use of this bad boy. If you want to play Call of Duty or any kind of competitive gaming of any sort, I suggest you stop there. Even with the fastest internet there is, you still have to factor in input delay because it is detecting said input via the internet instead of being hardwired or line of sight. As you can see from my footage, I got killed so many times, but I'm also not the best Call of Duty player there is. What this is good for is casual gaming, and that's how I generally view most handhelds. So I actually bought this for a very specific use in mind, and that is actually for my wife. She primarily plays on PlayStation, and I thought since we only have the one TV and we like to hang around each other, whether it's watch TVs, movies, or playing games, that if I was watching something she didn't like or was playing something she didn't like, that she could use this to play her games. So we definitely put that to the test the other night. I was playing some multiplayer on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and she was remote playing Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection. Now, while we have decent speeds with our provider, we definitely have a unique situation when it comes to our Wi-Fi setup. Our apartment is essentially a 3-story condo with our garage being the bottom level, and that's where the main Wi-Fi point is. Our second level being where the consoles and other smart devices live, and the third level is where the bedrooms are and a couple other smart devices are. On that third level is where our office is and where I do most of my filming, so as you can imagine, the Wi-Fi has to pass through several walls to do any kind of good. The only addition I made to the Wi-Fi point is an additional little beacon that extends the coverage a little bit. So with that being said, while I was playing Call of Duty, I had my wife go upstairs, and to her standards, it held up just fine. While she was sitting next to me, I did notice some audio hiccups, but that comes into play with a device that is remote play only. For a device that is remote play only, you have to remember its capabilities and keep your expectations in check for sure. While everyone's experience will definitely vary, it is not a flawless experience every time. In addition to the audio hiccups, you can get some pixelation or artifacting in the video. And And that is when you get reminded that this is not a device for dedicated play. It is, as the name implies, a portal to your library of games, and that quality of play time heavily depends on your internet traffic and reliability. However, overall, the experience has been great, and this new PSP has made a great addition to our home entertainment setup. And I look forward to more quality time spent gaming with my wife in the future. Well, with that being said, that about wraps up today's video. Tell me down in the comments what games you guys are going to be playing on this thing, and make sure to like and subscribe for more. I'll see you around.